Good morning, Eastern Oregon, and welcome to this October 4th version of AM Live on EOA, your connection to Eastern Oregon. How you doing, man?
Second Monday.
Second Monday.
We're alive, though. We're kicking.
Yeah, we are. I'm feeling it this morning, man.
Yeah. It's all good, though. It's a nice day so far.
Yeah, I mean, I love these fall mornings. I mean, they're just so
It's
beautiful.
better than getting here and having to turn the AC on.
Yeah, well, I turn the AC on anyhow.
Well, because it gets hot in here.
Yeah.
It gets warm in this room.
Yeah, but yeah, what a beautiful morning.
October already.
I just can't, I mean, we talk about this all the time, but it's like when you talk about the weather and, and the weather change, the season change, that's what old people do. They talk about that stuff all the time.
You're saying we're old?
Yes, I am.
I saw a lady the other day. I can't remember where I was at, but I mean, if I had to get, like, maybe it's just me, I don't know, my perception of things, but if I would have guessed, I would have guessed that she was way older than me.
Uh-huh.
And I overhear her talking, and she's like, yeah, I just turned 42. I'm like, oh, wait a second. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't feel old. Like,
yeah.
But I mean, we're getting there.
Yeah, I learned a while ago to never try and guess ladies' ages, regardless of
I would have been in trouble. Because I would have said like mid-50s.
It's never a good thing. So, right. Well, hey, do you want to talk about sports?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Eastern Oregon sports. Let's see. This last weekend, EOU football dropped to 0-6. They lost at home to Southern 41-14. So been a rough season for Camp and the Mounties up there. He'll be on my show today, actually. So if you want to tune into that, 5:30 p.m. EOA Live Sports, Coach Camp. EOU volleyball. Gosh, they scared me on Friday night. They played Northwestern on Friday night, and they went 5 sets with a team that they shouldn't go 5 sets with, but they pulled that out, and then they come Saturday, sweep Evergreen. This weekend, this is the big weekend, so we have Bushnell at home at 7, Quinn Coliseum, and then Saturday, number 5 in the country comes to play us, number 1, 5 o'clock, Quinn Coliseum, Corbin. That's the team right there that, we beat them at their house. A couple of years ago, we swept them during the regular season and then lost to them in the conference championship game here. So if there's like a monkey on khaki in that volleyball team's back, it would be Corbin. And so this is the game of the year. I mean, there's no doubt about it. LeGrand volleyball plays tonight. JV, I think 2 starts at 4, or JV starts at 4, and they're going to give away or they're going to give out the state championship rings for it. And I mean, if I get this wrong, I'm sorry, but it's not really my wheelhouse. I think swimming and tennis, maybe. I don't know. 2 state championship rings is being given out tonight at before the varsity game. So in between JV and varsity. And I know one of them's swimming and the other one is cross country. Nailed it. Got it. It just popped into my head. There you go, cross country. And then I'm still doing the senior spotlight interviews for athletes. I just released 3 soccer players yesterday. Probably released 3 more today. And then all I have left is girls soccer and track and field. Cross country. I get those 2. I mean, because at the college level, cross country and track and field is coached by the same coach usually. And as for football, I think we go to Madras this Friday for LeGrand, and then we'll air the Baker game on our network and on their network on Friday as well. So yeah, that's pretty much sports in a nutshell for today.
All righty. Cool. Well, let's look outside. We were talking earlier, beautiful morning this morning. I love fall days. They're just beautiful. Let's see what Gabe has for
Heading into the day on Tuesday, upper 70s to lower 80s will be the story for much of us, although slightly warmer in Pendleton into the mid 80s. Expect some patchy early fog, otherwise lots of sunshine expected throughout the day, although we will see a few high cirrus clouds working their way in the second half of the day, especially up towards the north. Heading into the day on Tuesday for LeGrand, it looks like this will start out into the mid-40s at the 8 o'clock hour with some patches of fog, beginning with a light easterly wind flow. During the day, those winds won't increase much, only gusting up to 20 miles per hour in spots as we see those winds turn to the north by the evening, bringing a few clouds in by mid to late afternoon. More scattered clouds expected for the evening and the overnight hours. Temperatures will reach the lower 80s for Tuesday, drop into the mid 40s overnight. Pretty much a carbon copy on Wednesday with those scattered clouds throughout the morning hours.
There you go.
There you go.
You know, trombone players, I think I don't know, maybe trumpet, but I know trombone players, they have what they call circular breathing. You ever heard of that? So they have the ability, they train to be able to continue blowing while they're breathing in at the same time. And I think that Gabe has that.
He never takes a breath.
He never breathes. Yeah, he's like
this trombone. This one, like
yeah. It's a crazy skill. I've never quite understood it, but I had a friend who was a professional trombone player, and he knew how to circular breathe.
So I mean, a couple people that talk that much.
Yeah, well, and that's right, Johnny. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, most people like you and me
have to breathe.
Well, either that or you kind of have to think of what you're going to say next, and then there are those people that just like
rattle.
Yeah, they can just they're
it's a gift and a curse for those people, though.
And for the people around them, I guess.
Well, yeah, that's a curse for the people around them, but it's a gift and a curse for the people that.
That's right.
That actually have that inability to shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Union County Commissioner Matt Scarfo is going to be with us here in just a minute.
Want to keep yourself informed with relevant news and events in Eastern Oregon but don't have much time on your hands? Well, here on EOA Live, we pay attention to what's happening in Eastern Oregon and deliver the news in 2 minutes or less on our evening news roundup. You can expect to get your news delivered right to your Facebook and Instagram feed every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. We'll keep you in tune with Eastern Oregon, and you can count on that. EOA Live, your connection to Eastern Oregon. Now on Roku.
Eastern Oregon's weather can oftentimes seem unpredictable. 1 minute it'll be raining, then it'll be sunny and wonderful, then snowing and then sunny, then the next it'll be raining cats and dogs, literally. So how do you prepare yourself for such flip-floppy weather? Well, by tuning into EO Live Weather with me, Gabe Curtis, of course, the most accurate weather forecast in all of Eastern Oregon. I'll keep you informed with daily weather updates that can take an in-depth look through the next 7 days. Because if cats and dogs are literally going to fall from the sky, you will want to know. EOA Weather right here on EO Live, your connection to Eastern Oregon. Now on Roku.
All right, man. How are you?
Good, Brent. How are you doing?
Quick one there.
Yes.
Hey,
and
how
we're on.
are you?
Okay.
Here we go.
So,
rock and roll.
Yeah, it's his second time in studio.
Yeah,
I would like a desk. Though.
I know it.
I feel like vulnerable. I mean, you guys go to the fancy.
That's how we want you to be.
Oh, it's like I'm on a lie detector. You can see you strap me up and just sweating. Just what's going to come next?
Put the heat lamp right up above you. Just shine it down.
The problem, I mean, we still haven't. Eventually, we're going to build something that'll kind of be portable and we can move in and out and stuff, But yeah, so initially when we had this set up, I had something planned there, but it meant that when the guests came in, they had to get around us, and
there's a lot of trip hazards around.
Well,
here.
Not only that, but him and I have a certain amount of girth that, like,
there's not a lot of room.
Not a lot of room behind us. Yeah, so it just is what it is.
No, I'm still glad we're in person.
Yeah,
but I still have a lot of meetings on Zoom, which is saving a lot for travel.
Right,
really is. Like I should be going to Salem this weekend, but now it's on Zoom.
Yeah.
I got a meeting on Monday, but since it's on, I mean, productivity is probably going to go down, and I will travel to Salem for, come the session, come springtime, I'll be over there quite a bit. Face to face is still the best, in my opinion.
I think that Zoom is kind of like how the cell phone was. So when the cell phone came in and you could do conversations, then it gave you the ability to pack more into your life. And so now Zoom makes some of those meetings a whole lot more efficient, which is really good. But if you're a busy person, you just end up you're just backfilling the space.
I can make almost every single meeting now. Instead of saying, "Hey, I got to be in Salem, I can't make this one."
Right.
Now it's like, "Oh no, I'm on the road and I just put my phone there and driving and listening to the meeting."
So are you one of those? Do you turn the camera on or do you leave it off?
It depends.
Okay.
It will depend on. Some of them are a lot of informational, and I will multitask.
Yeah.
I see people with their camera on and multitasking.
Right.
And you'll see them and they're not
here.
They're not here. They're just but
Well, so you turn your if you turn your camera off, I mean, is that like,
is it rude?
well,
are you paying attention?
It's gotta
I don't
be
know.
a little. I mean, I think it's kind of rude.
Well, and I like to look in people's eyes. You know, I like to, go back and forth and read the room. And when I'm sitting there just reading people's names, I'm like, I know they're having breakfast or
they're in their underwear,
on their couch or
drinking
I don't
their
know.
coffee. They got their dog on their lap.
Yeah,
because it kind of depends on the meeting. I mean, if you're an active participant or chairing the meetings, which I know you're in that position, there's no way you can turn your camera off. You can't multitask. You got to be active there So, but if you're just a listener, then I don't know. I don't know why, just the way my mind works, I actually get a lot done if I'm listening to. I mean, I have the ability to, if I'm just listening to something, it's very often I'll just get bored, or if I'm in church or whatever the case might be, and I'm listening, then it's just hard for me to keep attention. But if I'm making a note of what has to happen this week, if I'm doing more than one thing at a time, then I don't know. I'm able to absorb both. So,
See, back to your point, Doddsy, I was like, if I'm on a Zoom call and I'm paying attention, I'm engaged, I'll have my camera on. But if someone comes in or something like that, I don't want to be one of those people that are talking to somebody on camera and like, hey, that guy's not even paying attention.
Right.
So I'll shut my camera off just to say, hey, don't look at me, because that's a distraction.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't want to see someone back there combing their hair, brushing their teeth, or
Which people do.
oh my gosh, yeah. During COVID, that was horrible. The stuff
man.
and there's still people that still are not in their offices. There's state workers that are still doing that.
Oh yeah. They have like highlight reels on YouTube of Zoom meetings. Just Zoom meetings.
See, and I'm with you. I mean, I don't know if our local ODFW, is it ODFW? It's the
Fish and Wildlife.
Yeah. Do they have people in their meetings now?
Yep.
I mean, and they're open to the public?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been in there many times.
Good. For a long time, they weren't.
Yeah.
I mean, every other offices were open and the local ODFW was closed. And it was like, anyhow, I'm glad that they are open. But
on that topic, I will say I'm still trying to get rid of our mandates.
Right.
Still and like everyone thinks COVID's over. It's not. I honestly believe if there wasn't an election coming in November, our kids would be wearing masks in school right now. I honestly believe that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. Oh yeah. Right now, there's still mask mandates in all medical facilities. Well, CDC has dropped all that. They stopped the screenings. But I still want to get rid of the vaccine mandate. The vaccine, we all know what the vaccine is now. The truth has come out. It's not going to stop you from getting COVID.
Right.
From the very beginning, it was just to boost your immune system to help you fight it when you got it.
Mhm.
But everyone said, no, it's a war against the unvaccinated. And nope.
Right.
Wrong. Lies.
Whoa.
We all know what it is now. And yes, it does help you from getting severe symptoms. There is data showing that. But stopping you from getting it, no.
No, I had it and I was vaccinated.
Yes.
I mean,
Well, a lot of people did.
Well, the thing was, is a lot of us couldn't come out and say that, or you'd be discredited or kicked out of office. Or, I mean, they were vicious. COVID was not. I said it from the beginning. Political pandemic.
yeah.
It was a tool. From day one, you know what the cure of COVID was? You guys know?
Stay home.
No.
If you're sick.
No. The spread was always the cure for COVID, and the government controlled the spread.
So say it again.
Yeah.
So
The way viruses run,
right,
it has to go through everybody,
Right,
and then you get herd immunity.
Right.
So that was the cure for COVID, was
Right.
to get rid of it. Was to spread it.
Okay.
And the government controlled the spread the whole time.
Got it.
and they made it as long or as short as they wanted.
Yeah.
But I always said at the very beginning, which I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist. I'm just a guy that knows about viruses.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, reads about viruses. I always said, take the most vulnerable people. This is like day one. I said, and everybody like over the age of 60, and say, hey, you got 3 months off, and everybody else go lick a doorknob, and let's go lick a doorknob. Let's get this sucker over with. It would have been over in literally 3 months. I don't know if it would overran the hospital. I mean, that was just me. I do, caution, like the very beginning, I was like, okay, what is this? Yeah. It was scary for everybody.
Yeah.
And then after a while, when I started meeting people that had it and going through I was reading, and then the vaccines came out, and I want to know, okay, are there breakthrough cases? And I'd go on the OHA website, and they kept hiding the breakthrough. Every time I go, every single day, I'd go in there on the OHA website, and it'd be in a different spot, and I had to go search for them. It was very frustrating for me. I'm kind of glad now I could get off my chest that was not a fun 2 years, especially me being the liaison to public health for the county.
Yeah.
And there was mixed emotions all through the county. It was not fun. It was not fun. And I had to respect everybody's beliefs and wishes and stuff. And yeah.
Crazy. When you talk about COVID, like the NAIA, they don't test for COVID anymore, but the NCAA does. So we have, there's been, there was a game canceled, a volleyball game canceled a couple of weeks ago because Southern volleyball, a lot of them had COVID. And we're making a couple trips this winter, the basketball team, to play NCAA D1 teams, and they're going to have to test for COVID, and that's one of the games was right after Christmas. So it's going to be one of those ones where, man, I hope we can find a way to keep our guys healthy, because these games bring in a lot of money for the university.
Oh man,
a lot.
Wait, remember back in the day where like the whole team would get the flu?
Yeah, everybody would be sick.
Yeah, like, oh man, we're out.
Normal.
Yeah, everyone got the flu. But I still with COVID, these athletes, it's not the flu. They're just like, I got a scratchy throat.
Right.
The symptoms are not there.
I remember a basketball game last year. The 4 of the 5 starters, they were testing right before the games, and it was like 3 hours before the game. 4 of them test positive. So that game, it's all backups, right? Well, the next game was the problem because the NAIA had some weird rule. They had to wear masks while they were playing basketball. Imagine that.
Makes no sense.
Oh my God, these poor guys. Guys that are in pretty good shape are running up and down the court. And a couple times I saw players go out into the hall and just like, just struggling to breathe wearing masks playing basketball.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my God.
No, glad when you think back on that, and I don't know, looking back at that 2 years, does it seem long or short to you?
It seemed forever.
Because you were in the mix of it every day.
Well, it was my first, I'm still in my first term.
Right, yeah.
And I was literally robbed from my first term because I just was COVID for still 3 years. It's COVID. I want to be a commissioner, please. I don't want to, Carrie Bergiotti, her and I spoke a ton during those 3 years. And now we don't talk anymore. If I get a call now, I'm like, oh no. What
what's going on? Yeah, what did I do wrong? Yeah,
I'll call her once in a while just because we talked all the time, and now she's back on her other things and stuff, and I'll ask her, hey, how are our COVID numbers? And I haven't even looked in weeks. And I'm like, it's so nice.
Yeah,
so nice. And I've talked with Jeremy up at the hospital. Still, the mandate, the vaccine mandate would help because we are still short a bunch of employees up there, which scares me. If we do get a bad flu season like they're talking about, we need the staff up there. Mm-hmm. And to get rid of the vaccine mandate for employees, that's just one less question you need to ask employees to get them in there. Mm-hmm. And if that would get us another, 40, 50, that'd be fantastic. He says he's doing great right now. They've been doing a great job. Jeremy and the staff's fantastic. But I'd like to be fully staffed up there.
Yeah. Well, but that's everywhere right now. So why do you think, I'm interested to know, why do you think we're having an employee shortage of?
Well, there's multiple factors on that, Brent. I think I talked about it on the last show. We're still at 3.9% here in Oregon. unemployment.
Right.
The people that are getting unemployment, it's almost, last time I checked, it was 482 people in Union County are getting paid not to work right now.
Yeah.
When there is a help wanted sign in almost every single business's window. And I know businesses that are shortening their hours, shortening their days, or are struggling to even stay open.
Right.
And
we did, and the last time we talked, we wondered whether or not there was a requirement for them to continue applying for jobs. And there is. I did confirm.
you did look that. Okay.
Yes, yeah. I talked to somebody from the unemployment, and actually after COVID, I guess somewhere in there those requirements kicked back in. But still, there's
how can there be 482 people that can't find a job right now?
what? No,
And you could have unemployment benefits for 52 weeks.
482 people in Union County.
Union County.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that, I mean, I don't know. Here's the thing that I got, because I talked to somebody who was in the know, is that, I mean, I can't account for the number of people that are on unemployment that are not employed, because there's a lot of jobs locally available for people. So, but they said that the workforce, that there's a lot of people that during that time, what would be really interesting to know would be how many people before COVID were circling on unemployment. You see what I mean? Are there more
now than before? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because just generally the work supply of employees has gone down, because part of it is people took early retirement, or the person I talked to mentioned that homeschooling is more popular now, and so I mean, part of it because of everything that's going on, part of it because of COVID, and so then parents are choosing to have one of the parents stay home and teach their kids, So anyhow,
I'd say there's multiple factors in all that.
Right.
Daycare is very difficult. The one thing, I think we lost, I forget the number, is like 10% of our workforce retired.
Right.
And so there's that vacuum, like, everybody just got bumped up a level.
Right.
And then no one's coming in to fill the gaps underneath, or there's that vacuum. But other states are doing it. Idaho's at 2.6%. The mayor of Miami, I heard him talk last month, their crime is going down in Miami, Florida, of all places, going down.
But I guess
Do you know why?
Why?
He had three things. He put everyone back to work. Their unemployment's at 1.9%. He increased his law enforcement and cut everyone's taxes.
So here's what I don't get is, if unemployment is down, I mean, how do the unemployment numbers being down, how does that account for the number of empty jobs? I mean, if unemployment is down, I don't know why that number is relevant, because you still have a huge number of openings, and you have a pretty good group of people that are not filling those openings. So how is that measured? What number measures that? You see what I'm saying?
I'm lost.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
You mean the unemployment number?
well, I mean, when you said so,
okay, 3.9% equates to 482 people.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're getting unemployment benefits right now.
Right. But unemployment is down
Here?
generally.
Oh yeah, but it's not down as Oregon, not as much as other states.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you're saying that it's not down, and so then
It could be, in my opinion, it could be lower in the state of Oregon.
okay.
I get it.
Yeah. Like Idaho, 2.6. They're down almost a full point.
Right.
Over a full point than we are.
From during COVID.
From COVID.
From during
Yeah.
COVID. Yeah. Okay.
So I wonder what it was before.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know either.
I said there's multiple factors.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think our unemployment should be zero. There are those, transitional things. I mean, at the beginning, way back, it used to be a percentage of your wage, and you only got it in between looking for your next job. It was like 6 weeks or something like that.
Right.
And then it was done.
Short. It was
Yeah.
real short.
And then the recession hit in 07, 08, and then there were no jobs. And then they kept extending the unemployment benefit. It went to a couple months. Then next, went to 6 months. And I remember then it hit a year. But that was necessary. There were no jobs.
What you're saying is there are jobs now.
Well, now, but they never retracted.
Right.
They never went back from a year. So you could sit on unemployment for a full year, 52 weeks, and while there's jobs all over the place.
Right.
But nobody is, I don't know if the employment department's not saying, hey, get back to work, or forcing, hey, we got all these jobs and you're not I don't know.
Yeah.
I would imagine it's something similar to welfare, like food stamps per se. Like one of my biggest qualms with the welfare system in Oregon has always been like accountability, right? I'm 100% for welfare, right? I think that people do need help. I think it's wonderful for college kids, but where's the people that are not, showing up at your house saying, "Hey, what are you doing to make yourself better?" You know what I mean? What are you doing to make yourself get off of welfare? Obviously, we're not going to do that with college kids. Once you're through college, you have a degree, you get a job, you don't need it anymore, generally speaking. But for those people outside of that realm, there's nobody like showing up, and I would imagine that it's pretty similar. I mean, you probably have to show that you've looked for a job, but there's probably loopholes in there that people have found. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, if you've been in a certain job that requires this certain skill set, say I'm a carpenter, I don't have to go look for a job at McDonald's, right? I think in Oregon, you have to look for a job in you don't have to go outside of your specific
But
parameters.
I think after a while, if you're a specific, 52 weeks, I even asked Sheriff Bowen, how long does it take for you to train a deputy? And it's 16 weeks. I mean, in 52 weeks, if you can't find a job, after a while, I think you may have to rehone your skills and get some training, which I do know that the unemployment department does offer some trainings and some things like that, which if everyone's like, well, I'm I paint shoelaces, and then there's no, and it's like, that's all I do.
That's what you did.
That's it. That's all I do is paint shoelaces. And they're like, I can't find any work. I guess I'm done working for the rest of my life.
But I think
you
that's
can't
part
say
of the
that.
problem. I think that might be what it is there isn't a push there isn't a force. Like there isn't somebody saying you have to do this.
Right.
There's just, you can stay right in this, right in your sweet spot. And I think people have figured out a way to take advantage of that. Honestly.
Well, there has to be a disincentive to stay where you are.
Right.
Yeah, if it's a transitional thing and there's an incentive to stay there, it's not transitional any longer. And so that, but I think that there's a lot of things that are changing. I mean, talking about college, I think there's a lot more emphasis, and which I think it needs to be, pushing kids towards a trade or pushing kids towards some kind of a thing, so that when you get done with your education, you are actually skilled enough to have a job. You can actually get something. Had a number of conversations with different people about that, and I mean, I think that's just a great direction for our education system to be going. So,
yeah, like BTI over there in Baker,
right?
That's fantastic. I got a tour of that. What was it, last spring?
Yeah,
amazing what they do.
Well, and when Tom Ensko was here, kind of as he was getting ready to leave, and he talked about the importance of higher education, and I said, but higher education is really education after high school, and he said, yes. So even the education facilities are understanding. I mean, I'm loosely translating. I think what it is he's saying is that, yeah, kids need training after high school, but it needs to, whatever that path is, it needs to lend or go towards some kind of a career. Yeah. So, definitely. Well, so what's going on in the commissioner world? Union County, I guess.
Well, I will say that the state is kind of on it's kind of like idling right now, because everyone is waiting for November 8th.
Right.
So a lot of, with a new governor comes new employment,
everything.
Yeah. And I'm not sure about these state departments and heads, if they're not sure if they're going to have jobs come January 1, because we don't know who the next governor is going to be.
Yeah.
So right now, everybody's kind of not much going on.
Right.
Not much going on. And that's in the state world. But I talked to Robin Church, is our clerk, and this is her last year. She's retiring. We're going to miss her dearly. The ballots are going to be mailed on October 19th, so they should be rolling out. Getting your mailbags.
19th.
Yeah, So you'll be getting them homecoming weekend, EOU homecoming weekend.
Oh yeah, the 22nd is
22nd is homecoming.
So will Robin be there for this
Yes.
vote? Oh, so I get one more.
Good.
I get
Yeah.
one more voting cycle.
We
with
were
her.
under that.
I'll worry about that because
Yeah.
I don't like developing new.
Robin's fantastic.
She makes it so easy. Like I can just go up there, set up the camera. She comes in there, takes the microphone, talks.
Yeah.
Hey, she may put Lisa up. Who knows?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
We'll see. But no, and so one more with Robin. We're gonna miss her.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. I've been following that governor's race pretty closely.
Well,
I
and it's
haven't.
and
You
I,
haven't? Oh boy, it's gonna make a difference.
I'm not gonna
well,
lie.
and I'm surprised that Drazen last time I saw was like a point ahead
Mhm.
of Tina
Mhm.
Kotek. Is that her name?
Correct. Yes.
Is that the last two that are left?
No, so there's three.
Oh.
So there's Betsy and Tina Kotek, who Betsy is independent but has been Democratic in the past, right?
No, she's a Democrat, but running in
Running as an independent,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yeah, and so
So there's two Democrats and one Republican.
correct.
So the Democrats are splitting their votes.
That's
essentially.
The thing is Betsy, she talks like a Republican, but votes like a Democrat.
Oh, I got you.
So, in my opinion, I would say if you're a Democrat, vote for Betsy Johnson, and if you're a Republican, vote for Christine Drazen. Tina, no, thank you, because if she gets in, I think she may mask our kids in January. I don't, but that would scare me. She may bring COVID.
I
back
don't
in a
think
big
people
way.
are going to put. I mean, I think there'll be a revolt before people put masks on again.
I hope so. I hope so.
I just
When they
don't see
masked
it.
our kids last time, I thought that was going to be the last straw, but nobody did anything.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, nothing. We're just going to mask our kids and put them in the school. Okay, I guess blew my mind.
be really interesting to know the number of people that have moved out of Oregon because of
How many people? Hey,
Oregon issues.
yeah, how many people moved in because of Oregon issues?
Maybe that. Yeah, it's a.
Well, a lot
Yeah.
of people have moved in.
Yeah, legalized drugs.
Oh, right.
Yeah, if I was a drug user and I kept getting arrested, let's go to Oregon.
So-
I won't get arrested anymore.
So, what does it take to repeal? What measure is that?
Measure 110. And I would love to see that back on the ballot
Yeah.
because I know a lot of people that thought it was solely for treatment,
Right.
not to they call it decriminalize.
Right. And now
drugs,
we know.
which is
right.
also, decriminalized. And they're like, oh, it's not, we didn't legalize it, it's decriminalized. I'm like, okay, define both of those for me
Right.
and tell me how that's not legalization.
Well, yeah, there's a simple definition to that. The decriminalization of drugs is now you can have up to a gram, which is quite a bit of dope.
Yeah,
Like when
I
you
know.
really think about it. I mean, you can get high off of a gram of meth for quite. I mean, I've never done it, but I'm pretty well versed in the drug world and recovery. You get $100 fine for anything less than a gram, right? And then if you prove that you at least contacted, because most of the rehab facilities in Oregon are full all the time, especially this time of year, right?
Oh,
When
yeah.
it starts getting cold, because people don't want to sleep outside when it's cold, and you get 3 hots in a cot when you're in rehab. And so if you prove that you've at least contacted and tried to get into rehab, they'll even drop the $100 fine, which is insane. Like if you have somebody that I mean, most hardcore drug users that I know, including family members that are now clean, say the only way that they can possibly get clean, the only way they can get 6 months clean, 3 months clean, is in a jail cell. Seriously, not even rehab, because most rehabs you can just walk out of.
Yeah.
No, I'd like to get Measure 110 back on the ballot because, like I said, I had so many people that thought it was for the way it was worded was
But see,
it was very misleading.
But see, I think I mean, as much as we've talked about it, and has Cody has helped us understand how that has made law enforcement really difficult. I'm not sure people really still understand how bad it is for our community.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, talking about just generally, I'm not sure people really get that. Yeah.
Well, the biggest thing for what Cody says is the biggest drawback to it is you can't bust that little guy, the guy with half a gram on him, and say, hey, we'll let you off on this if you give me your next guy up.
Yeah.
Because who's gonna flop on somebody for $100 in
Yeah.
the dope world? No way.
Right.
No way. It's crazy, man.
No, I'd like
Don't
to
get
see
me started.
Yeah, I'd like to see that one back on the ballot. But then there's measure 111, 112, 113, and 14. A good person to maybe get on the show would be Senator Hansel. I just heard him speak about those 4 measures and opened my eyes. I didn't really look at him too much, but I'm going to start looking at him more. He said they actually amend our Oregon Constitution. And they will. That's what I say. It'd be better if he was here on the show instead of me. But I'll try to do my best. And then to get them off, like to get rid of them, it takes 2/3 vote to get rid of them. So it's like it's almost impossible if they're in. I think one's healthcare, one's they say it's slavery for. I think it's for incarcerated people. I think it's the work. Community service, they're considering that slavery. I think that's what that is. Legislators cannot walk out anymore like they did.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which, I mean, it goes both ways. Everyone applauded the people in Texas when they walked out.
Right.
But they were Democrats. And then, the Oregon senators and everybody walked out, but they're Republicans. And how dare you? We're going to make a measure now.
Right.
And then 14's the gun law, the gun one. So those, I think he said all 4 of those will amend our Oregon Constitution.
Yeah, and the gun one it seems simple. Again, it's like for someone to buy a gun, you have to have a course, a training, some kind of a training, but there's no clear path to get that training done. I mean, that training is dependent upon the local law enforcement to take on. They have to do that without funding,
another unfunded mandate.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, we're known as the state's known for unfunded mandates.
Are we?
Oh my.
And I understand that because yeah, so many of these things come down. It's like, yeah, you guys locally just figure it out, whatever it might be. Yeah. Craziness.
Yep.
So,
but those will be on the ballot. That's coming up quick. So
yeah, that's a month.
Yeah. So if you want to get Senator Hansel on, that'd be.
I'll see if I can get a hold of him and have him come on. We could do
a Representative Levy would be good also.
Yeah. Good. All righty. Well, anything else exciting going on or locally?
Yeah, I'm still helping the fair try to get their wastewater project in. And it's going to actually, the city of LeGrand made it their number 3 to help fund with ARPA funds. So that's fantastic that they're willing to chip in. They're going to be voting on that tomorrow night.
Right.
Where are we at in that process? Like, how far away are we?
Well, we're until inflation hit, we were almost fully funded. But with the inflation, we're up another $1 million now. So now we have to come up with a full another $1 million when we're close.
We're just about ready to go.
Yeah, when we started, when I started and we started looking at it and the price tags and everything, it was under $1 million, and now we're 2.7.
Wow.
Yeah, this inflation is ridiculous.
Yeah, and I think that so there is a little bit of distance out of funding, but still, we can get started on the project though, right?
So they have enough funding to do one of 2 things. One is to actually connect the sewer across 84, across the Grand Run River, all that, and have the pump station and everything, and actually get sewer going back and forth, but not enough to build the bathrooms and actually plumb the bathrooms and all that. Or we could build all the bathrooms and
have them connected.
Yeah, we have these nice brand new bathroom shower facilities and all that stuff with no water,
and your poop just stays there.
So which one do which one do we want?
Wow.
Yeah.
But the thing is, both phases will take years to do. So there's time. If we could start one and just hope that the other one comes, we'll see.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
And I was a part of that. I recorded that city council ARPA meeting, and and that kind of came out. That wasn't on their list. I mean, the Fairground funding was not on the list, but I was pleased. I was helping facilitate that town hall that they did. And the comments that came in through Facebook, through our Facebook page, then they listened to, and Robert related those to the council and the this work session.
Mhm.
And I mean, and that's kind of how it made it on the agenda. So they were listening.
Oh, the fair board has been doing fantastic.
Yeah.
They have been really, really busting their butt to get this.
Yeah.
Well, just this summer, how many events do we have out there?
Right.
We're always having more and more events.
Right.
And the country music, that was huge.
Yeah.
And then the Oktoberfest that they, tap that. I mean, it's just everyone has to get out of their mind. It's just not the fair. It's just not that week-long thing.
Right.
The ground are amazing. Yes, I wish we had, now we're going to need another $2 million to redo some of our buildings because our buildings need some work.
Right.
But at least we could use some bathrooms.
Yeah. But still.
Bathrooms would be, kind of.
I mean, CB's was going to be kind of disappointed because
I think
that's
$1 million contract.
yeah, like, oh
right
no,
there.
yeah. CB's like, wait a second here.
Yeah, we've been in your bathroom for 20 years.
Yeah. It's like $35,000 a year coming in. No.
Oh, well,
Wow.
cool.
Yeah. But I have not been up to Mirror yet. They've been doing the thinning management project up there, and I hear it's going fantastic. I still need to run up there, and I heard you guys say, fall's your best favorite time of year. Oh, I love it. Fall's. I wish fall would go through March.
Yeah.
And just not even see a winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad, would it?
No.
I hate snow, dude.
Let it snow 30 feet up in the mountains. That's fine. But
that's fine. Yeah,
just
just keep it away from me. I don't want to have to clean it off my car.
Yeah. Well, good.
yeah.
Well,
So other things. Yeah. Just moving right along. We have a meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m. Commission meeting.
Your commission meeting?
Yeah. Oh, and then we have our love mandates, as I said earlier. My favorite thing. Love being mandated by people. Is our mandated Greater Idaho meeting, 9 a.m. next Wednesday. The third installment.
What's that? Greater Idaho's like that whole movement to
Yeah, if you've seen the map, it encompasses most
Yeah.
of Eastern Oregon, some of Northern California.
like
Yeah.
join with Idaho,
Yeah.
become a state.
Mhm.
Oh, that's roady.
Yeah,
I don't wanna be Idaho
if we don't
anymore.
have the meeting, then I believe Sheriff Bowen will fine us $150 each.
so how does, so what is it that you do at those meetings?
On the ballot measure, it says 3 times a year we must facilitate a discussion of the Greater Idaho movement, and they have the dates down of when we're supposed to have them done.
Commissioners or what?
Commissioners.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So
It was on the ballot. Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And I had passed. I don't know what it was, 55, 45, or something like that. So now, I wasn't too happy. Well, being mandated.
Yeah.
No, at any point, anyone could have came to any one of our meetings.
And
For
said,
public
hey,
comment.
let's talk about that.
Yeah, never once did anybody come in. You still could come into our meetings,
Right.
and there's public comment every single meeting.
right.
Yeah.
You want to bring it up every meeting? Please show up.
Yeah.
It's your right to come to our
But
meetings.
this is an extra meeting on top of.
And it's mandated, and I get fined. And so it just still blows my mind that we're being forced to do this. And I got off track. I got to breathe. That's circular breathing.
Yeah, circular. Hey, I got Scarfo. I got $150 if you don't show up.
Oh, hey, so man. It's fine. The thing is, it's hey, I've always said the voters voted in. I don't mind. You want to show up 3 times a year and talk about? Oh, that's where I was going. And talk about Greater Idaho movement. Fantastic. By the people want us to do that.
Right.
So we will facilitate this and have discussions about this Greater Idaho movement. The thing is how it was written is there was no sunset date on it.
So
It
it's
is
forever.
forever. We have to do this forever. Even if we become Idaho, we still have to have the meetings.
He said, even
It's
if
like
we
the
become Idaho.
I'm sorry, the way it was written, the way it was all done, I just was like,
So
there's a better way to do
So
this.
do the people who got together and put the initiative on the ballot, do they show up to the meetings?
Yeah. When I brought it up last year, when I said, "Hey, thanks for no sunset date," they said, "Sorry about that." You go look it up. And the guy was like, "Sorry about that." I'm like, "Sorry about that? What are you talking about? This is like, commissioners 100 years from now, and the only way to get rid of it is put it back on the ballot."
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, hey, I'm all for having this discussion about Greater Idaho. People are looking at it. When it first happened, it was just Union County and Jefferson County. We don't even border Idaho.
No,
I kept telling them, like,
Yeah.
we need a bridge if you want to get this thing to work. I said,
We don't even
you know,
vote
Wallowa
Idaho.
County voted it down. I mean, Malheur County, why not work on Malheur County? They're in their time zone even. How hard it would be for them to be
Right,
Idaho. It'd be
right.
a piece of cake. But no, hey, we'll do it. I don't mind. You know, a lot of people come and talk to me about Greater Idaho. I mean, it's an act of Congress.
Yeah.
It will literally have to go, like the president of the United States, it will have to be voted on by Congress.
Yeah.
This is, you know, if they get to work on it, this is years and years. This won't happen. This won't happen the next.
Well,
don't
looks
even
like
know.
you're doing 3 extra meetings a year for the rest of your term.
Yeah, so that should be entertaining. I guess the Wall Street Journal is going to be there. Yeah, making national news.
This next one?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Wall
All
Street
right.
Journal.
Good.
Scarfo's gonna be famous.
Whatever that
Oh,
means.
yeah. That's all I want. That's all I want.
There's
That's
that
why
guy
that's why I ran for commissioner. I want to be famous.
Well, I mean, like I said, we could probably start a fund and just pay the $150.
It's
if you don't
no,
want
it's
to go.
hey, that's
it's your job.
that's my job. I don't mind it, but I don't like being mandated.
Well, and I guess that's part of the problem with initiatives is that, I mean, it gives the vote back to the people, which is the point. But very few people spend any more time studying the initiative than just reading the description.
Mhm.
Or some of them might vote. I mean, they read the synopsis. Yeah, this is a training class to own a handgun. Oh, that's a great idea.
Mhm.
You know, and there's none of the they just don't know the behind that. Or this is we're going to have the commissioners meet 3 times a year to talk about joining Idaho. It's like, oh, that's not a bad idea.
No,
Check.
Yeah.
Check.
Yeah.
I would love to if Scarfo didn't show up and got fined. I would love to be a fly in the room when Cody. Well, if I was Cody, I'd probably just send one of the deputies to find him. But, oh man,
no, it's like I did not make the last one. I was out of town, but we have to facilitate the meeting. So if we didn't
So he doesn't have to be
if we
there.
just said we're not going to have this meeting,
gotcha.
then
So does that happen here?
yeah, it'll be in our commission halls. Yeah.
So you have to full on.
Yeah,
Is that
I'll
every
be-
county has to have 3
No,
a
it's-
year?
No, it's only the ones that had it on the ballot.
Oh my.
So
wow.
So the new county, well, they listened to me, and the new ballot measures they put on for other counties, they put in a sunset date, like for the next 2 years or for the next 3 years.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh, must be nice for them
Yeah.
to not have to do this forever.
And the only way we can get that fixed here is if we
Put it back
put
on the
it
ballot,
back on the
and
ballot.
but I'll word it differently. It'll be a flower basket program or something like that. But then underneath, but you're absolutely right. The way they word these things, they do it on purpose too, to trick the voter.
Yeah.
And it's sad. And I mean, who wants to read about lawyer
No, those
jargon
books are like
ballot?
that
Oh
big.
boy, I hate lawyer jargon. I
Oh,
can't.
It's terrible.
I've had to read some, and I need a translator. Just layman terms.
Do you
please.
have a lawyer friend that you call up and go like, what does this really mean?
Oh, the county has legal counsel.
Okay. And
Yeah.
they can like, they put it into layman's terms for
Yes,
you to.
yes, and I appreciate that. Because some of them, I just don't. Yeah.
Oh. Well, hey, we're glad you're here with us.
Yeah.
Why don't
Oh,
you-
hey,
Go ahead.
homecoming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Homecoming's
Homecoming's coming up. And everybody, if you're an alumni baseball player, we need you to play.
Yeah.
9:30.
Good luck with that.
And we had 10 last year.
Yeah.
We did all right.
Yeah.
But we had
The
we had some baseball players graduate from last year.
Yeah.
I was like maybe 9 or 10. I was like, we need some of them back.
The alumni softball team beat the softball team last year.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be a few years before we can even come close to beating our baseball team because
Yeah.
we're
Bunch
old.
of old dudes. Yeah.
We're old.
Yeah. Yeah. Homecoming October 22nd.
Oh, we're having a
That's
pep
coming right up.
rally in the parking lot next to bench warmers there. The whole team after the parade,
Mhm.
whole team's coming over. Coach Camp's coming over, trying to get everybody to, let's get a win. Homecoming.
Well, I mean, that might be the only win we get all year. I hate to say it because I'm a fan. I root for these guys, but like the way we've been playing, Northern might be the only.
know.
And we lost to Northern last year in 5 overtimes, and it was Northern's first conference win since 2016, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we
gotta get it going.
we can't go over. We need
No.
to.
And
So hey,
homecoming-
maybe the pep rally Friday night will help. And
yeah, you
Just charge
saved
up.
money, man, this year.
I'm sorry.
You saved money this year with EOU not winning any football.
Oh my gosh, the
games.
Wings, yeah. Well, that was a good thing because I'm losing my butt like with inflation and everything.
Yeah,
Like,
just terrible. I'm
At
sure.
50 cents. That's under my cost.
Right.
With the food stuff right now, oh my gosh, it is so bad. It is so
I
bad.
understand that. I understand that. It's like, yeah, you're eting food that I'm paying for
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
you're
like
welcome.
I'm treating you. Yeah.
Please have a couple beverages so I can actually pay for my waitress.
At the homecoming too, they're gonna cut the ribbon for the new indoor.
Oh
facility.
yes. Can't wait to go check that out.
There's alumni games for both basketball teams, softball, baseball.
Yeah,
There's a parade, and hopefully, barring bad weather, the people from EOU that are supposed to be in the parade will be in the parade this year instead of empty vehicles because they're still out at the golf tournament because the weather pushed the golf tournament back in. Guess who else is going to be here for the homecoming parade?
Who?
Peggy Anderson.
no way.
Yeah, she's going to be in the.
Well, don't they
homecoming
have some
parade this year.
Title IX something? They're
Yeah,
gonna
that's
do?
why. That's why.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
The Title IX, 50 years.
Yeah,
50 years of Title IX.
yeah. Boy, Peggy was back in my day.
She's the boss.
Oh boy, she chewed me like my first week.
She
She
was the
chewed me up and
boss.
chewed me up and down.
Yeah.
I was just bringing a ladder in to fix the baseball cages, and she's like, "I did not authorize that." And I was like, "I carried this from the baseball field in the
Yeah.
rain. I'm not taking it back out there."
Right.
Yeah.
Now the baseball field is that new
Yeah.
indoor facility, which got the wrestling team moved up to EOU where they needed to be.
Are they practicing up there yet?
Yeah, so the old gym, if you walk in, Quinn, from the west side, not from the main entrance, the old practice gym is right there to the right because the practice gym now used to be a pool.
Mm-hmm.
So that practice gym there is where track and field and cross country were. Well, with this new building, track and field and cross country gets to go out there. It's an indoor facility. And then now that whole gym is just mats.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'd love to see get the baseball program on campus too.
Yeah. Well, they're going to start, they'll have to build a field for that. But
Yeah.
that indoor facility is it's not just track and fields.
Mm-hmm.
So during the winter, a lot of teams are going to, be using that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Instead of taking ground balls when it's like 50 degrees and you just move a little snow to the side and take some ground balls on the turf up at Community Stadium. Yeah.
When I was here, we were in the covered tennis courts. You remember
I do remember that. The dome. Yeah.
I thought it was
The dome.
at times it was colder in there than outside.
Yeah. It just holds it in, huh?
I was like, oh my, yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah. I had
I'd forgotten about those.
the dome.
Yeah.
The dome.
The dome. Man, there's EOU is such an integral part of like our community. A lot of my memories, revolve around EOU, playing basketball on the 9-foot hoop. You know what I mean? Like it was just, and back then, I'd walk to school. I lived on the east end of Washington, right by Safeway. At the time, Safeway wasn't there. And you walk through EOU to get to school if you were walking to school, if you were going to the middle school or the high school. Well, you walk by those courts outside, and there was always at least enough people for a game going on and a team that was waiting to play the winner. Now they're gone. I mean, you don't even see people outside playing basketball. Very rarely.
It seemed like every Saturday or Sunday we'd go in and there was a pickup game.
Oh,
in
the gym?
In the gym.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's where I learned how to play basketball was in those gyms with the EOU guys and us high schoolers. And it was.
I was always picked last. I was never good at basketball. Well, my dad was like, "Don't even bother. You're not going to be tall." Yeah. So I was good on defense, but
My son,
dribbling and shooting, and I think that's an important part of basketball. Yeah.
my son is taller than me, and he goes to Dallas on the west side over there, and he was a basketball player all the way up to his freshman year in high school. And the football coach tells him Dallas football players don't play basketball; they wrestle. So my son started wrestling.
Oh,
Huh.
But he's 6'6". He would have been a decent basketball player.
Yeah.
And he's pretty athletic. I mean, he's
6'6" wrestler.
yeah, and he's good too.
Holy, I
wrestles-
bet.
He wrestled 220 last year and did really well.
Well, I was gonna say, like, usually wrestlers are just.
yeah, little
like
short,
tanks.
No, he's
Yeah.
6'6", 220 and wrestles. Yeah.
Oh, I was like, gonna ask, is he wrestling WWE or is he?
with the strap. Bam.
Yeah. He's got the mane.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
Uh,
That would be awesome. Bring back Portland wrestling.
Well,
Yeah.
well, hey, fantastic to be back in studio.
Yeah, it's nice.
Thank you
you.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, love your show.
Well, why don't you let's leave Matt here.
Let's just get
us out of here. Yeah.
Get going real
Yeah.
quick. All right,
Yeah.
let's do it. On this day, what is today? October
It's the
4th,
4th. Yeah.
1854. Abraham Lincoln made his first political speech at the Illinois State Fair. 1854 on this day. First time we ever talked about politics.
Wow.
1880 on this day, the University of California was founded in Los Angeles. 1933 on this day, Esquire magazine is first published, the very first issue of Esquire magazine ever. 1960, this is a cool one. I would have never guessed this. 1965 on this day, Pope Paul VI becomes the first pope to ever visit the Western Hemisphere.
Really?
What?
Yeah, 1965. Yeah.
That wasn't that long ago.
No,
And there was
That was like
there was plenty
57 years
there's
ago.
plenty of means to be able to come and do that. too.
Absolutely, yeah. So I mean,
Huh.
there must, yeah, that's crazy, huh? I thought that. 1997, year I graduated high school. On this day, the largest cash robbery in U.S. history occurred in Charlotte, North Carolina, at the Loomis Fargo and Company. How much money do you think they got?
Oh, jeez, it's probably 20,000 or something.
No.
17.3 million.
Yeah.
in
What?
cash- in cash money?
Yeah. This was.
17.3 million.
Yeah. This is. Yeah. It was a.
That's a lot of cash.
An armored
Holy.
car. It was
Bill-
an inside.
it was
an
there.
inside job of an armored car.
Oh, wait a second. Did they make a movie about
They
it?
did. Yeah. There
With
was.
Zach?
Well, it was
Galifianakis?
the actual armored car company. It was in their offices where
Right.
they
Ah.
bring
Right.
all the armored cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Right. Right.
The number one song in the country on this day, Scarfo, who is it?
Right now?
No, the number one song in the country on this day in 2002.
2002?
Yeah, so
Oh,
you would have been
jeez.
just graduated college, right?
Yeah. Give me a.
It's a rap song.
Rap song.
He's a baseball. He's a great baseball player. Probably could have played baseball professionally.
He's a rapper?
Yeah. Nelly and Kelly Rowland, Dilemma.
I don't know.
Yeah, Nelly was a really good shortstop.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Really good. And the quote for the day, it's up on the screen. You are the greatest project you'll ever work on. One more time. You are the greatest project you'll ever work on.
I like that one. That's
Yeah.
short, sweet, and
Yeah.
to the point.
Yeah.
Just
And
hammers
it's-
it home. Like you can't. You know, I think it was my grandmother. She always she was like one of those ladies that was kind of inquisitive. She wanted to know what was going on in your life and everything. But she always told me, like, you know, if you ever have kids, your kids aren't number one. She's like, you're number one. Remember that, because you can't be a good dad if you're not good. And she always told me that, like, you're first. You have to make sure that you're okay mentally, you're okay, you know, physically. Otherwise, you can't be a good dad for your kids.
man, I'm so glad I came on the show today. This is
That's
it's like a therapy thing. Therapy
my grandma
session.
always told me.
Man, I gotta.
Yeah,
I because my kid always came first, and that makes a lot of sense.
it does. It checks out if you really think about it.
Oh, you just blew my mind,
Yeah.
Kyle.
There you go.
See you on Thursday.
Thanks, Eastern Oregon.